Good morning, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm Elvin Ho Shorty, and I literally have just noticed I've got really big fluffy hair today. That's not why you're here, though. You're here for a comic book review. That's why I do these things. And today, change my grip for the site so you can see what I'm doing there. It's the new Harley Quinn issue 1. Harley Quinn has had a lot of issue 1s. Not entirely sure like what the basis is for doing it, because there's a lot of the Infinite Frontier things, which have actually just carried on their numbering. Detective being the prime example, then Teen Titans has got its own like actual different title, Teen Titans Academy. This is just Harley Quinn. Now it's a new creative team, but Detective Comics has had a new creative team as well. So choices are theirs. I don't know. I'm very much distracted by my hair at the moment. But it's still a very good one to read. I've not really read much Harley Quinn in the past. This is not a criticism of the character or how DC portrays her. It's just when I look at what the creative team is involved in them, it's very rare I see a team where I'm like, yeah, okay, I'm going to give this one a shot. Let's see what's going on here. And it wasn't necessarily the Stephanie Phillips, Riley Rossmo. Is it Rossmo? Yeah. Gotta make sure I get the guy's name right. Team that had me going, oh yeah, I'll take a look at it. It was literally judging a book by its cover. I've seen this artist's work before in a few of the Batman adjacent or Batman titles, and I've always thought to myself, that looked really good for Harley Quinn, because there's times when I think I've seen stuff either by the same art or similar where it's done for more dark and horror kind of comic books. Don't get me wrong, you do anything in Gotham City, it's going to have a hint of darkness and horror to it, and that's kind of understandable. You need to work with that, but there's something about the art which its liveliness, its vibrancy, just made me think if any character is going to like really take advantage, it's going to be Harley Quinn, and it really doesn't take long for that to be the case. I mean, literally page one. Straight away, I was like, yeah, okay, this is actually something which I'm going to pay attention to now, because it starts with an I'm sorry cake and Harley Quinn falling into it, and then complaining about the fact that it took a long time to find a cake for a celiac in Gotham City. And then you find out it's for Killer Croc. So I didn't know it was celiac. That's a cool little thing to know. And the Killer Croc design there is kind of old school animated series. Still definitely some big monstrous kind of thing, but they've not gone like for the really over the top grotesque detailing, which is fine. That would lean it definitely more into a horror thing rather than a comedy. And when you're dealing with Harley Quinn, I think you're going to be way more effective if you allow the comedy to come out. You don't have to make it a comedy comic book, and I think it kind of would fail a little bit. I think I'd struggle to take her too lightly. She has been responsible in her own way for the deaths of hundreds of imaginary characters. So, you need to allow that depth there as well. And we have a lot of her guilt coming through. So in fact, guilt is a driving force of this arc. It is her trying to make amends for the bad things she's done. For a long time now, Harley Quinn has skirted that line between villain, anti-hero and hero, and it feels like this is a bit of a turning point. She's trying to reclaim her lost love in Poison Ivy, something that happened in one of the Infinite Frontier, no, maybe not Infinite Frontier, it happened in something I'd read and thought, yes, that's cool, I like that they're doing that. Her guilt for what happened there, and also all the stuff she did with the help of the Crown Prince of something she says which doesn't isn't a crime. A nice little bit of there's a term for it when you use other grammatic symbols instead of letters to basically have profanity, and it's something which obviously you can't have full-on swearing in a DC universe title. You can get away with a lot in the Black Label, trust me, but in the main universe you've kind of got to still have a sense that there isn't any profanity on the page. But Harley Quinn is very good at using profanity in such a way that is kind of endearing and funny at the same time, but gets across a sense of anger as well, which is nice. But what she's doing is making up for all the terrible things she's done, and she's angry about it. She's angry at herself, and she's trying to do well. This does give the chance to actually have some rather wonderful moments with Batman, and I think her relationship with Batman is fantastic because she clearly has like a hero worship thing there, certainly in awe of him, but does not look at him the same way he looks at her. There's a rather wonderful bit in a totally different comic book where you generally get a sense that Batman's got a big crush on Harley, and that's great. I like the fact they're running with that. But she's got other things on her mind. For instance, she's living in a dingy apartment because she has no money. She's like an ex-criminal, ex-psychiatrist. There's no way her license is still valid. And she basically thinks that now she's part of the Bat family, she should be able to get loads of cool stuff because surely the rest of them get paid for it. And I like that sense of, yeah, well, how the hell do superheroes make their money? If you been watching something else recently from a different creator, you'll get that that's something else that's come up recently, and I like the fact that it's all tying in together, and that does get its own little payoff at the end. In fact, to say it's an issue 1 and there's quite a lot of setup in it, quite a lot of exposition about what's going on and where the world is, there is also some genuinely cool bits of payoff very early on in issue 1. Don't get me wrong, they come at the end of the issue, but still, for a series, they are not just teasing out everything that's going to be coming and following. It isn't just a let's set up everything in issue 1 and then worry about what's happening down the line. They are setting plot points and they are letting them pay off, so you get a sense of the story moving, which is what you want with Harley Quinn. She's a vibrant, energetic character, and Stephanie Phillips writes her brilliantly, by the way. She's got such a good voice for this character. I genuinely love it. And that vibrancy needs to come across in everything. The artwork does it brilliantly, the writing does it brilliantly, and the pacing of the story seems to be doing the exact same thing. Effectively, it's a home run. Really, really like it. If it wasn't for that, we've literally sold every single copy we have in store of it. I might pick one up myself, and I've never said that about a Harley Quinn comic before in my life, up until it was like, well, unless she's appearing in somebody else's. But this is the first kind of like solo Harley where I'm like, yeah, genuinely cool, really like it. If you're looking to have a comic book store which has got one, reach out, grab it, and take it out. You're not disappointed. I have clearly enjoyed this. I've looked at my timer and I'm well over my 5 minutes. Take it easy, stay safe until I'm back in store doing another review. Bye.